After starting to act, don't think back and rethink all the time. That means you think hard, come to some internal peace with yourself, internal understanding, the conviction, then you act. After acting, don't think back. Don't do second guessing yourself. That's what this Tirukural means. Enni thuniga karumam, tunidapin envom enbadu ilukku. That's very important because I came to the conviction that I want to be in the private sector, I want to be an entrepreneur, and now I enter software because of that internal conviction. And when you have that conviction, what it gives you is that slowly the confidence arises. And you make mistakes, you fail. It gives you that internal drive, the willpower. The willpower is, what's the word? Sankalp Shakti. Sankalp Shakti. That's what you get when you act with resolution. That is why that Kural is important. That develop that Sankalp Shakti and then you act. Don't act without that conviction. Think hard. Experiment maybe. If you don't have a conviction, do some experiments. But don't act unless you really have that internal conviction. So that is how I got started in business. I did not know anything about business. By then, there is no family background in business. Then we made mistakes along the way. Initially, setbacks, failures. My very first business attempt was to build a hardware product that failed. Miserable failure. At that point, I had some life savings, maybe 8-10 lakh rupees. I spent all of it. All of my initial savings I spent trying to build hardware. I failed in that. But I had the strong conviction I'm going to be in business. So the first attempt was a failure. Now we'll do maybe something in software. And where does that confidence to face the failure come? That comes from that conviction and that willpower. That's why the Drid Vishwas is important and the Sankalp Shakti is important. The willpower is important. So that's why the conviction comes. Now you have to develop, once you are you want to do anything well, you want to be a movie actor, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a great doctor, you want to be a scientist, any field at all, you need 3 qualities. And this is the 3 qualities and gunas, we call them, right? Gunangal in Tamil, the 3 gunas. You want self-confidence, you want self-drive, and you want self-discipline. The self-confidence is, of course, the Ashma Vishwas again, that confidence in yourself. The self-drive is important. Curiosity. See, this is today, in fact, yesterday before coming here, I was working on some of the AI tools. You know that what is going on in our business right now. ChatGPT, all of this have come. And I'm telling you, the biggest challenge facing any software company, any company at all today, is how do you thrive, how do you prosper in this AI-driven world. If you get that right, we will become a big company. If you get that wrong, we will become zero. Zoho will become zero if you get that wrong. So that's what I have to work on now. And that requires curiosity to learn first. I have to learn these technologies. I have to master this. That comes from that self-drive, internal drive. How do you get up in the morning and learn this? New thing, something new. And that is self-drive. And that's required all throughout your life because you are going to be learning new things all the time. Technologies are changing. Approaches to business is changing. The world is changing around us all the time. New developments happen. So that's why that curiosity, self-drive is important. And the most important quality of all is self-discipline. I don't have to tell you, you are all in Abvp, you get that internally. But most of us, your friends, we lack the self-discipline. Even if we decide we want something, we don't have that discipline to pursue it. That getting up in the morning, working through this. It's self-discipline in everything. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, exercise, physical exercise. All of this requires self-discipline. I'm going to say that's the most important quality for success. Now let's go to the next stage. I'm going to tell you why you want all of this. And if you look at and I'm going to talk about again, entrepreneurship. It's my specialty. I won't be able to give you advice on how to be a great doctor because I am not a doctor, right? Or how to be a great space scientist because I'm not a space scientist. But I can tell you, you can be an entrepreneur. I can tell you why entrepreneurship is so important because that's vital for our nation right now. And you would have heard this important quote from Chanakya, Dharmasya Moolam Artha. If you want Dharma to flourish in a nation, we have to get the economics, Artha, right. That is important. And to get the economy right, economics right, we need entrepreneurship. We need jobs. We need prosperity. What it means is, if you are in poverty, Dharma will not survive. That's what that quote means. So we have to get out of poverty in order for Dharma, our civilization, everything to flourish. So that is why entrepreneurship is important. That is how I came to that conviction that entrepreneurship is important. And I'm going to give you my perspective on entrepreneurship, how I see it, why all this rural development, all that come in. First, every entrepreneur has to understand a little bit about the economics of it. If you look at our nation today, you look at, or any region. I was in Balia yesterday. I spent most of the day yesterday in Balia. The previous day I was in Varanasi. I came from Tenkasi to from Dakshin Kashi to the real Kashi. No, Tenkasi is Dakshin Kashi. I came to Varanasi. And I spent a day there and I spent yesterday in Balia. Now Balia is a very rural district, very similar to Tenkasi. How do we make this a prosperous district? That is our problem. In other words, good. So how do we make Balia a prosperous district? How do we make Gorakhpur prosperous? These are the questions facing all of you, younger generation. Wherever there are 800 districts in our nation, 832 to be precise. How do we make each of our districts prosperous? If we want Dharma, our civilization to flourish, each of these districts has to become prosperous. How does it become? And I'm going to tell you, narrow it down to the economic problem. In Balia, you buy smartphones, you buy refrigerators, you buy motorcycles, you buy all of the advanced technologies. But for the most part, entirely in Balia, 85% of the population is engaged in agriculture. Yesterday, I met the district magistrate and the district development officer. I asked them, what is the real employment here? They said 85% of our population here in this district, about 30 lakh people, 3 million people, are engaged in agriculture. But we are buying motorcycles, we are buying smartphones, we are buying refrigerators, we are buying all of this. You will find Samsung refrigerators, you find OnePlus phones, Apple phones, all of that there. But how do the young people of Balia take part in all this activity? How do they buy it? Today you have to migrate away. You have to migrate to find a good job in Delhi, maybe in Mumbai or in Bangalore, Chennai, somewhere you have to go in order to find a good job to pay for all this. Or you borrow, or you sell your land. Or you hope that in the next election there will be some free money from the government. Those are the only ways today that we are balancing the budget in these. Which is why you politically notice everywhere more and more free promises. Free money for this, free money for that. That's not sustainable economics, but that's understandable. Because how do we enable the rural people to consume? And the problem is very simple. We sell rice paddy at 30 rupees per kilogram. We buy smartphone at 1 lakh rupees per kilogram. We don't have enough value addition. That's our problem. Which is why the first thing that we need in a Balia is economic balance. Economic balance means we want to give more, sell more to the world so that we can buy from the world. We want to sell more. And your job as an entrepreneur is to enable us to sell more. That's what I do. What is my main job? We are selling our software in USA, in Mexico, in Canada, in Colombia, everywhere, and in Dubai, in Singapore, everywhere we are selling our software. 85% of our revenue is coming from abroad. And so we are enabling a Tenkasi district to sell to the world. That's what entrepreneurs do. You are enabling people there to sell some product to the outside world, so that we can consume products from the outside world. So that is the balance. The next thing you want is symmetry. Symmetry means if I buy complicated products, I must be able to make complicated products. If I buy smartphones, I cannot just sell rice or apples. That's not enough. I have to be able to sell something more complex, value added. That is your symmetry, economic symmetry. And then the third concept, this is the more advanced economics. Internally, we have to have the rich, poor, all this divide. We have to achieve harmony. Well, if we don't achieve harmony, I tell you, in our own rural areas, we have conflicts, various kinds of conflicts. You know this. Where I live, in Tenkasi, in Tirunelveli, I find these conflicts. This could be caste-related, this could be religion-related. All these conflicts exist, and the only path out is we achieve internal harmony, and that harmony is essential for economic development. So we have to have the balance. We sell more. Symmetry, we sell more complex products so that we can consume more complex products, and then internal harmony so that we can do it for long term. That is how we achieve the economic takeoff. And when you do this, the balance, I call it, they call in Hindi, Santulan. Symmetry is Samrupata, and Sadbhava. Harmony is Sadbhava. So those are the three things we have to achieve. And that is, to me, the essential role as an entrepreneur. Your initial role is helping to balance. The next role is invest in technology. And that is where we talk about rural development through research and development. To achieve that symmetry, how does a Tenkasi achieve symmetry? We invest in technology, we invest in research and development. Through that, we achieve rural development. So that's what we are doing there. So these are, I put together, our long-term mission, and that is how, with that conviction, is how I've been operating in Tenkasi. This internal conviction. Now, the ultimate goal of all this, we have to achieve a Bharatiya civilization, Bharatiya Sabhyata. Right? That is our ultimate goal. And I tell you, for this nation, our nation, Bharat, we have to achieve harmony with nature itself. I talked about harmony within us as human beings, harmony with nature, prakriti ke saath samanjasya. That is the thing I want to use, the harmony with nature itself. Because for that we have to show this to the world. Today, with climate change, global warming, all that, the world is not in balance with nature. Us human beings are not in balance with nature. If our nation has a message to the world, it is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the whole earth as a family, and balance with nature itself. That's what we have to show to the world. That is the whole point of all of this economic development, progress, balance, symmetry, all of that, entrepreneurship, all of that, to achieve that balance with nature. And this is your next 50-year action plan for each of you. You have 50 years ahead, 60 years ahead. You are all young, in your maybe 20, 21, 24. You can work 50 years now. Given the modern, all of that, you can easily work 50 years. I want to work well beyond 70 myself. I hope to work well beyond 70. So I hope all of you can work for the next 50 years with this clarity, with this conviction, with this willpower. And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.